itself in different quarters. It could come from political secessionists to religious and fundamentalists. It could come from all kinds of sectors and quarters. The point is, they have a very vibrant media industry, very transparent media. And nobody wants to sit up. You don't get up in the morning to flip your papers and see that 900 million Indians slept well yesterday, ate well, enjoyed TV, went to bed, got up today, will go to work. That is not news. What you want to see is, or what the print media thinks will make news, is saying that 3 people died here, 1 bomb exploded there. That is what makes news. There are times where you read things in the Singapore papers that the Indians themselves don't know about.
May I quote this Mr. Ajit Doval, former head of India's intelligence bureau. He said, the Maoists are spreading their revolution, making large parts non-governable. That's Mr. Ajit Doval.
That's fair enough. Let me tell you this, when the PAS took over Kelantan and Terengganu, there were reports that this whole entire region is going to become Muslim fundamentalist. Did we panic in Singapore? Did we scream hell and get out of here thinking that we all have to convert? There were times for many years where the Singapore press was rather anti-Indian. You would have 3 cows dying in India making headlines here with 1 billion people. It's a big country. Maoism is there, yes, but it's happening in certain quarters. And certain people who are involved in will see the picture as very big. But really, until I read the report, I didn't even know about this thing being such a large scale. And I'm quite in tune with the Indian market, believe me. And investment is going in unabated. So these are problems that is going to happen part and parcel of daily life. But it has not ground the country to a halt. India as a democracy since 1947 has gone through upheavals like crazy. Upheavals and turmoils that would have turned any other country on earth away from democracy. Today it is still a very vibrant democracy. So nothing, whether it's a secessionist movement in the northern Kashmir province, or it's going to be some Muslim fundamentalist activity in Bombay, or the Maoism problem, is not going to upset a country that is that large.
Can I add? See, I used to fly to India monthly to give talks in various places. Once I went to Hyderabad and then gave a talk and coming back. My wife was asking, some problem in Calcutta, you will not be affected. I said, I was in Hyderabad, even I do not know what has happened in Calcutta. Because the distance between Hyderabad and Calcutta is nearly 800, 900 miles. It's like from sitting here in Singapore and something happening in Penang or in Thailand. So that's the vast country India is. So if Maoist insurgents are happening in Andhra Pradesh or some pockets of India, it doesn't affect the rest of India. Business is going normal and as usual. You don't have to worry about it.
Another thing I'd like to add about India, in fact, it's just a thought that came to mind. I was just reading this article that's in front of me. As everyone knows, the hot debate right now with President Hu being in America and the Chinese UN policy. Just like to bring to your attention that going forward, though China is competitive today, though we are also purchasing a lot of material from China, we face problems whereby in last year alone, I think it was about a 2% change in the foreign exchange of the RMB as compared to the dollar. It was actually pegged at 8.29 and then it was revised to about 8.1 due to heavy international pressure. And that's in fact top of the agenda today between China and the Americans trying to put a lot of pressure, not only the Americans, because of the large trade deficit. China is going to have to liberalize its foreign currency going forward. They're going to probably do it in stages. They're trying to dodge the bullet as far as they can, but sooner or later it has to be done. And when that happens, Chinese products will end up being more expensive. And when they become more expensive, then what is the competitive edge of us buying from China today? Today, though, I mean, this is where the opportunity lies in India, where you have a large labor force that is highly skilled, you have low labor costs, you have an economy that is built entirely on entrepreneurs, I would say. It's the private sector that is driving the economy. Whereas in China, it's a communist country, the government snaps its fingers and says, I need a dam to be built. No matter what may come, a dam will be built. You know about the Yangtze River, the dam was built. How many people were displaced? if this same thing will not happen in India, because there's a democratic process, people will object, I mean the opposition parties will make a big hoo-ha about it, there'll be strikes. So these are the challenges that India has, but at the same time the opportunity lies where China tomorrow is going to end up being a little more, it's going to be more expensive to purchase out of China due to the yuan, and people are now shifting their attention into India. So infrastructure, once that improves in India, I think that's where the opportunity is. Today people say China is the factory of the world. I don't think the day is very far where India is going to be the factory of the world.
Yes, please.
Can I just give my 2 cents worth? I do not know the Indian market, short of having that you all have very beautiful girls and that you have a very big middle class and the educated are very well educated. I'm very impressed with some of my classmates. One of them is from the Indian Institute of Technology, and he was really extremely smart, extremely hardworking, and there's no way any of us in the class could compete with him. and the best part was that he could work maximum hours, because in a school you have to, there's a certain limit how much you can work on campus and stuff like that. He was working his maximum and everything, and he was really good. Now let's come back to India and China. I knew China because I was on an exchange scholarship and I stayed in China for some time. And initially, before I went to China, I was really scared. At that time, when I went to go to China, my passport was actually a restricted passport. That means China is considered as a communist country together with Vietnam and whatever it is. And I had to send my passport back to Singapore to get all the ISD to approve it before I get over there. So there was this fear about China. The first time when I reached China, I then was scared out of my compound because I didn't know whether I would be overwhelmed by communists and what am I going to do about that. But there were opportunities, plenty of opportunities in China. There were plenty of risks in China. You can all kinds of, but I'm sure you have read newspaper about all kinds of risks. And I did my research on China, and I did my thesis on the Chinese economy, and I found all kinds of stuff that went on in the Chinese market that sometimes you don't even know down here, people down here don't know about. Now we have now India, and India also has a lot of risks, and we cannot say that there is no risk with regard to Maois, with regard to religious risk, with regard to political risk and all kinds of stuff. On top of that, being a female to go into China, into India is a bit more scary because you read that you guys can't keep your hands to yourselves, So, and that is your own Indian ladies finding it so difficult handling you guys, and we have like totally, have no clue what to do with you guys. Like, that's another story short of learning karate and keeping you all in your place. But in any developing country, there is a great potential and there's great risk. And when you go in and you're not sure of a country, don't go in with your money to build a factory or whatever it is. Because when you make a mistake, it's very difficult to create a factory and come back to Singapore. Go in like Mr. Rush say, he does trading and things like that. So when there's a problem, you run. Yeah, you have some stock left behind in India or whatever it is, but at least it's not your brick and mortar. Then you go in either in trading or using your skills, consultation, whatever kind of skills, education skills or whatever it is that you can teach those fellows or exchange teaching Singaporeans about the things over there. These are things that you can go in first, and when you know the market very well, very, very well, know the people there very well, then you can build all your mortar and all those sort of things up there and not make.
That's exactly I was telling you.
Yeah.
Start doing trading with them first.
Yeah.
Like the chocolate guy I was talking about.
Or do consulting
or provide services.
Yeah.
And then start the trading first. After the trading, then you build up your contact relationship.
Don't go in and
the
kill
culture.
yourself. Yeah.
Then you move in to do manufacturing.